Yo, what's going on, guys? You know who this is. Welcome to my stream. This is Toodun live. Whatever the hell you're watching from, this is what I'm doing tonight. I'm gonna be cooking up a few steaks, and we're gonna be having some fun. So we are gonna actually start preparing, and we're gonna get ready to start doing that stuff up now. So I'm gonna be running you guys through that and letting you know, like, look, man, this is how it's done. So welcome to my stream. Welcome to the fucking cooking show. This is Toodun's cooking show, and let's fucking get this motherfucker started by I gotta preheat the oven and turn it up to 3, because I'm doing baked potatoes too. So we're gonna be doing probably about 375 for baked potatoes, about 45 minutes for that. Hey, what's happening, Chill? How you doing, my dude? So we are gonna get busy on that. Sorry, I was gonna stream earlier today, but resting and everything, my arm is really screwed up. I can barely use it on anything, so this is what I'm doing. Just chilling out. The wife is sleeping. She's resting right now. It's a hard week and stuff, so I'm gonna be doing this and be cooking her some supper and showing you guys what it's like to freaking do some shit that the way I do it. So I'm gonna show you guys what it is that I'm gonna be cooking and what kind of steaks and how long and shit like that, right? Alright, hang on. Hi Mom, what's happening, Mexican? You guys rock, so thank you for fucking joining me. I appreciate that so much. You know, like I said, I apologize for not showing any games yet, but I'm on a chill right now. Haha, yeah, Dave, how's it going, my dude? So I am going to show you guys what it is that I'm going to be cooking. So I want you guys to check this out. And obviously you can hear the music in the background. So we are cooking that. These are T-bone steaks. One for my wife and one for me. Here's the other one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim them up a little bit. What's going on, Rock, my dude? You should have been on last night because I was looking forward to playing last night, but you weren't on. But that's okay. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing up some steaks, some baked potatoes, and some what do you call that? Some onions, sautéed onions. There we go. We're gonna do probably about, let me look. So because we got small onions, I'm gonna be doing 3 of them, because sautéed onions, if you do not know, sautéed onions is the bomb. And of course, you know, I got my beer. Always gotta have my beer. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna trim these steaks real quick. Gotta chop off the end fat. You don't really want that. The way I like my steak is I like my steak blue rare. So it's more than likely that it's gonna be cooked really fast. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take these 3 potatoes and we're gonna poke them full of fucking holes, and we're gonna turn on the oven. We're gonna get that set. So you can imagine that this is going to be a little bit of a fucking longer one than last time. Last time it was about 2 hours. This one's going to be longer because baked potatoes. You know how long baked potatoes take. So this is what we're going to do. So I am going to wash them off. And I'm going to poke the living shit out of them full of holes. And, you know, throw away your garbage. I'm going to poke full of holes. And I'm going to turn on the oven at 375. I love you guys. Understand this. Your dad said he's a better cook than me. Ha, you kidding, right? Ha, drink it up. Yeah, buddy. I don't think your dad's a better cook than me. No offense to your dad, but I can guarantee you I can outcook him with my eyes closed while I'm sleeping. No offense to your dad. He's a fucking cool dude, but I can guarantee I can fucking cook corners around him. I used to work in restaurants, so don't get me wrong. And I am classified as a pit master. And tell your dad I said hi anyways, Mexican. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the oven on at 375. We got to let that sucker fucking preheat. So we're going to get that going. We're going to turn it up right now. Oops. So we got the oven going at 375. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clean the potatoes because you got to clean the potatoes every single time. You don't want to have that dirt in your mouth when you fucking go to chew it and shit. So, trusty fork. Lovely potato. These are russet. Russet potatoes are actually the best to fucking use. You can actually use any kind of potato you want, but russet potatoes are actually full of flavor, and when you coat them with butter and everything, they just fucking melt in your mouth. They're really tasty. They're the fucking best potatoes out there in my opinion. So this is what we're gonna do. All you gotta do is you just fucking poke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want 6 holes per potato. Yo, coach, how's it going, my dude? Casey, what's going on, girl? How you guys doing, man? Thank you for joining me up on this motherfucker. You guys are joining in on Toodun's fucking cooking show. A new series that I just started. So when you got bigger potatoes like this, you got bigger ones, you gotta make sure that you do 6 holes in a smaller potato, but in a larger potato, you want to fucking add a few more holes because, I mean, the bigger, the longer it's going to take. So you just want to make sure that you poke that motherfucker full of holes. And like I said, russet potatoes are the best to use because russets are just the shit. If you want an extravagant meal, I would recommend getting red potatoes because red potatoes are just so sweet and they're full of flavor, but they're a little bit different. You don't really want to bake them. You can, but the best thing is to just steam cook them. If you roast red potatoes, they're not really, they're okay, but in my opinion they're not good enough. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this with russets because russets are the best. I mean, if you eat French fries, you're eating russet potatoes. Okay, just put it that way. Every French fry is made with russet potatoes. And make sure that you rinse them off every single time. Yeah, the potato just said stop poking me. Yeah, right? I don't listen to what potatoes say because they're gonna get in my belly anyways, buddy. So, they're nice and clean. Obviously, you can tell they're nice and shiny. You always got to make sure that you keep all your things that you're cooking nice and clean and stuff. Like I said, I got small onions, so I am using 3 for sauteed onions. I don't have any mushrooms. If I had fresh mushrooms, I would be cooking those too. But unfortunately, we don't have any mushrooms because We just don't have any mushrooms. I would love to have mushrooms to cook with my steak. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta pull up my cutting board. I am actually on the other side of the kitchen, so you guys will be seeing me trim these steaks on top of my stove. So I'll show you guys that, and I just want you guys to know, please enjoy. Don't forget to like and share whatever you want. If I get copywriting for this shit, I'm gonna dispute it, because this is me cooking and they can't fucking get me for cooking. So if they do, they can eat a dick. So I'm gonna pull up my cutting board and I'm gonna show you guys how to trim the steak properly. And it's gonna, you obviously know that it's T-bone, so it's gonna be really good. I'm gonna show you guys how to cut onions properly for nice, perfect sauteed onions. And everything else, it's just gonna be nice. It's gonna be a really nice episode tonight. Like I said, I'm doing steaks. I'm doing 2 T-bone steaks, one for myself and one for my wife, and she's gonna be sharing it with my son. So let's get that started. So bear with me. I'm gonna grab my cutting board and I'm gonna set up real quick. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm gonna show you guys, and let's have some fun. Oh shit, it's dirty, isn't it? Okay, so I gotta wash my cutting board, so it'll take me a minute. Eat a dick as long as Toodun cooks it. Yeah, buddy. I'm hoping that tomorrow, I'm actually going to be building a picnic table tomorrow. So I'm actually thinking about streaming that. So if you guys are interested in watching tomorrow me make a fucking picnic table, I'll take you guys through it step by step and show you how you can do it so easy, and you can do it at home yourself. I can't tell you about the prices because prices always vary all over the place. It doesn't really matter where you are, the prices will always vary. So, but yeah, that's what I got in mind tomorrow. My wife is going to be helping me build that picnic table. We're going to make it together, and we're going to have fun doing it. Steak is life. Actually, steak is not life, bacon is life, but steak is a close second, buddy. Unbelievable rock. That's a good one. So here's to you guys. I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn the camera to the side, or the laptop, whatever the fuck, and you're going to be able to see the proper way to trim the fat off of a steak, especially T-bone, and that way you know for the future that the best way to have a good steak is the best way that you want it. If you want it blue, you want it rare, or even medium, you got to make sure you trim off all the fat, because if you don't, it's just not going to be that great. The fat is usually really good for you. Like, it's not actually good for you. It's loaded with flavor, but the thing is that when you have it the way I have it, I like my steaks blue. My steaks are always blue, so they're extremely rare in the middle. They're not cold in the middle. They're warm. They're like almost like room temperature warm. You just want to grill it just a little bit. But the thing is it's all depending on how you like your steak. So I'm gonna show you how I like mine. So let's go ahead and show you guys how you trim it before you actually start cooking it, okay? There's a little bit of fucking fat on it, so let's just fucking hook that up, and I'm gonna show you guys how to trim it properly. So like I showed you, I got 2 T-bones right here. 2 T-bones, okay? 2 T-bones. One's mine and one's my wife's. Yeah, num num, I know, right? So you can see at the end there's too much fat. You don't really want that. It's too much fat. You want to be able to trim that off. You don't really want it to be, you don't want too much fat. Okay, you can actually use that fat if you'd like. You can use it in a soup. Say if you want to do a stew, I would recommend you keep that fat. And then whenever you take out some stewing meat, I'll show you guys that. You guys will love that episode. Uh, you guys will know that this is the way that I do stuff. Oh, we have a beep, so I gotta put the potatoes in the oven. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the oven at 375. I am going to be doing them for 40 minutes at 375 for now. It's going to take longer than that, but I always set it for 40 minutes just to make sure that everything on the inside is going to be steaming. So let's go ahead and turn the computer around, and you guys can watch how I trim my steaks when there's too much fat. So let's just go ahead and do that, but I'm going to show you first my trusty knife. This is my knife. Feels good. So let's go ahead and turn the computer around, and I'm gonna show you guys how to trim it properly and get some onions going, and start showing you how I flavor my steaks. Now you're gonna be really interested in how I flavor them, but that's entirely up to you. I'll show you the flavors that I use, and you can actually use them if you want, but that's entirely up to you. Make sure you use your nose. Okay, so we're gonna turn this around, and you guys are gonna watch how I trim. So let's make sure that the computer is facing down properly so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Let's face it down just a little bit more. So you see all this fat right here? Like a lot of this stuff, this is all mainly gristle. You don't really want that, because when you go to chew it, it's not gonna be all that appealing. So all you do is you hold up your steak like that. You just hold it up and you cut. Hey, you see how I cut that? So what you want to make sure is that all of that stuff right there, all the way up the side of the T-bone, you want to get rid of that, because you can't really, you can try to eat it, but it's going to be too chewy, and it's going to be like almost like gristle. So you just want to take your knife and then chop that off. There's no point in wasting your steak on something that's not even worth it. So there we go. See, you don't want that. That's basically like leather, like eating leather. So there's a little bit of fat there. You want to keep that for flavor. You see the marbling on the inside? That's all marble. So there's already tons of flavor in there. So actually keeping that, I might actually keep that for stew. I might actually refreeze that. There's tons of flavor in there. But this I will not keep. I'll just throw this out. So let's just get rid of that. We'll keep this, but we'll get rid of that. So that's one T-bone steak. It's really quite simple and easy. You just got to make sure that you just cut it off, and it's still like, you look at the marbling. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? So we'll grab the other steak and we'll do the same thing. Yeah, Junior says num 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 num. Usually after that you cut one part, it's just like tape. You just peel it off and it comes off really simple, and then close to the bone you just cut the rest of it off. See, like that, you can see that it's like it's almost like tape. That's the part that you do not want to eat, because you can't digest that. It won't digest no matter how strong your stomach acids are. So you just cut that off, and I left a little bit of meat on there. So this is good, and there's a little bit of a bone, so there's more flavor. So I'll probably keep those and do a stew. So we'll make sure that you guys are able to watch that and see how it is that I do a stew. So it's the same thing. You got really nice marbling right there. Everything about the steak is just beautiful. You can smell it. It smells like meat. so that's only obvious. So we're gonna stack those up. I already got my plate, so I'm gonna pull some spices out, and I'm gonna show you how I marinate my steaks. And like I said, I hope you guys you either use what I use or use your imagination and, you know, create your own style. So we're gonna put those aside. I gotta grab some spices. I gotta wash my hands first. Always make sure that you wash your hands. Yeah, your mouth is watering. I know, right? Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna grab some spices and I'm gonna show you what I use. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm not gaming. It's just I don't feel like it. I was going to earlier, but I didn't feel like it. I will be gaming tomorrow after I build my picnic table. So let's just go ahead and grab some spices and I'll show you what it is that I use. So we got Liam Perrins. We got some basil. Got some garlic. Liquid smoke, I highly recommend it. If you like hickory flavor, liquid smoke is the best way to go. Not every place sells it, but you can find it somewhere. We're gonna use some salt, and we're gonna use some peppercorn. And one last thing, we're gonna use some dill weed. Okay, we're gonna use some dill weed. So let's go ahead and get that propped up. I will leave this all here for you guys so you guys can see what it is that I use when I go take a break, because after I marinate it, it's got to take a few minutes to rest, and then so the flavors can mix in and stuff. So so what you want to do, what I always do is I use the garlic first. So we're going to use the garlic first, and we're just going to freaking give a nice generous coating all over the steak. Okay, we're going to do that. And then what I like to do is I like using the liquid smoke right after. So we're going to use some liquid smoke. And we're just going to give a few drops on each side. Well, actually, not a few drops, a few shakes. Keep in mind your hands are going to get dirty. So we're going to use some basil. Always have the open end like this because the spout you can't really tell. So you just got to give a little bit of a sprinkle like that. Like so. Oh, Jesus. Well, that didn't turn out very well. Just spilled basil all over the floor. Toodun needs to create a cooking game. I know, right? Okay, so after I dump the basil all over the floor, we're going to go for some peppercorn. And what we're going to do is we're just going to give a nice generous coating all over the place. Now remember, guys, peppercorn is the best thing to use because it's not bad for your prostate. Powdered pepper is bad for your prostate. So guys, keep in mind, only use peppercorn. And then we're going to use some salt. This is actually sea salt. Sea salt I actually recommend because it actually tastes really yummy. So that's what I recommend. I recommend sea salt. So just whatever you want. Don't use too much, but just give a little bit of a sprinkle, and that's good enough. You don't have to do both sides. And then you got your Liam Perrins, and then you just want to douse it, like let that sucker just drench in it. Then of course you're gonna get your hands dirty, so you just take your hands and you just put pressure. Flip these bad boys over and do it again. You notice that you got juice on the bottom part of the plate, or whatever kind of pan you're using. You want to put that right inside the juice so you soak it up really nice. Oh, and my dill weed. There we go. I forgot to use the dill. So you guys may not know that dillweed is actually loaded with flavor. Now you don't want to open up the back end of it. Dillweed is actually pretty powerful. It's almost like, well, actually, maybe you might want to. It's actually like cooking with a pickle, but you want to just give a light coating. I use a lot because I like it. And what I like to do, you have barely any seasoning on one side, you just put it on the other steak and soak it up, and there you go. And then you just do the same thing with the other one. There you go. So those are nicely marinated now. We're gonna give it probably about 25 minutes so everything can party and happen, and all the spices and stuff. We're gonna have some sort of conference, and they're gonna party and they're gonna have a good time. They're probably gonna call chicks and everything, and they might even call some bacon over and shit like that. So we're gonna put these aside. I'm gonna clean up my basil mess real quick, and then I'm gonna show you how I do my sauteed onions. But I'll put these aside and I'll be right back. Yes, Junior. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I'm cooking, buddy. You'll get some camera time in a minute, okay? Let you say hi to everybody. Oh my god, I wasted a lot of basil, guys. That's how much dumped on the floor. That's ridiculous, I know. Okay, so now that I got that done, I am going to be putting the lean parents away, the liquid smoke, the basil, and the dill weed. We're keeping the garlic, we're keeping the salt, we're keeping the pepper, and we are actually going to add some oregano, and ginger. Okay, ginger is really good for you. It makes you nice and healthy. So these are my onions. Like I said, I got small onions, so I'm using 3 onions so I can saute. I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick. I gotta grab a bowl so you guys will be able to see what it's gonna look like when it's done. So just a, regular, like a salad bowl, little small one, but we're gonna go with that. So all you want to do is you just want to make rings. That's all you want is rings. Now be careful, because the way you cut, you don't want to chop your finger off. I almost did. That's a little too thick. You don't want them that thick. So you just want to shave it right down. So basically like that size, that's good enough. So you just put those in your mixing bowl. Then you do the same thing with however many onions you like to saute. Is basically, fine with whatever kind of recipe you're working with, but you want to make sure that you don't overpower it too much. So you just do the same thing with your next onion. Any onions that you do, keep them in circles. Don't dice them because it's just a waste of time. I mean, if you eat steak, you don't need to dice your onions, because why would you dice your onions to eat steak? You don't need to. See, they're so small, I'm having a hard time cutting them, so I'm just going to cut them sideways. So same thing, you just separate them and put them in your bowl. I don't think I have enough. I might have to chop another one. I love sauteed onions, so that's just the way I go. And Junior's making a fuss, so we're going to have to give him some camera time. That'll make him happy. And the wife is sleeping, so I think he's actually going to need some camera time. So I'll let you guys hang out with him for, like, look how small that turned out. So I'm going to have to grab another one. And if you hear the music in the background, there's actually Hardwell. I don't know if you guys know the guy, but, or if you heard of him, just so you know, that's Hardwell. He's pretty good trance music. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut another one, so I'm gonna grab another onion, and we're gonna chop that one up, and we're gonna saute that one too. Okay, so we got another onion. It's actually a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Like I said, I love my sauteed onions. They're actually the greatest for steaks. So you just keep on repeating the same thing every single time. You don't want to make sure that you don't have enough, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, I didn't get no sauteed onions. You want to make sure that you make more than enough. Okay, when you get to the bottom, you want to make sure that you just lay it down, and then you basically like fillet the thing. And it's the same thing. You just, you separate it. You got some skin in there, get rid of that. So we're gonna mix that all together. So that's a nice generous portion of onions, and I am gonna separate all of that stuff. Oh, keep in mind, if you have a cut, do not cut onions. It hurts like hell. It stings. I'm making a mess. Always make sure your hands are clean before you start doing everything. Okay, so we got that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the garlic again, and we're going to give a nice coating. We're going to use some peppercorn. We're going to use some ginger. We're going to use some oregano. And some salt, sea salt. So we just do that, give it a nice coating, and then all you got to do is just mix it up. Heavenly goodness. So that's what it should look like, guys. It's properly mixed up. You got all your seasoning in there. You got your steaks marinating. You got your onions sauteed. So now all you got to do is, when you start frying it, which I'm going to show you guys, is that you want to use butter. You don't want to use oil. You want to use butter, because butter is going to give that extra flavor, and it's going to make it cook properly, and it's going to give it that nice consistency that you're looking for. Especially with your steak, always cook your steak with butter, because it gives it really good flavor. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm going to put away my garbage, and I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to hang out with my son while I go take a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, so everything is ready to start cooking. I can't cook right now because I got 19 more minutes to wait for the potatoes. Like I said, I like my steaks blue rare, so that only takes probably about maybe not even 5 minutes per steak, not even close. Probably about 35 seconds per side. You got to make sure that you keep an eye on it. It cooks really fast. You want to make sure that you have it on a high temperature. That way that you get the right kind of caramelization on your steak and the nice right kind of browning. Yo, Tony Shouse, how's it going, buddy? Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for joining me and checking this out. So I'm going to let you guys hang out with my son for a minute so I can go take a break. But I will be right back as soon as I can. My son's throwing a little bit of a fuss and he likes the camera, so you guys just hang out with my son for a minute and I'll be right back, okay? I appreciate it, buddies. Hey, you know what I'm doing, don't you? Say hi.
Hi. Say hi. Say the bird. Say hi.
In it. Say hi. Say hi. So guys, I'll be right back. This is my son. This is my junior. So you guys keep him company. I know you guys can't hear him, or you guys can hear him, but he can't hear you. But yeah, this is my buddy. Okay, buddy, let's go. I know. Get you some more snacks, eh? Okay, sorry guys, I was gone for just a few minutes, but I'm back now. Just gonna give my son a snack so he can have something to munch on while he's waiting for his steak. We got 13 minutes left before I check the potatoes, and the potatoes should actually be pretty good. So I'm gonna give my son a snack, and I'm actually gonna look for something that's gonna go around with a side dish beside baked potatoes. So bear with me for a second. I'm just gonna give my son a snack, and then I'll show you guys what it is that I'm gonna be using as another side dish. Okay, so I'm going to be using cut green beans. My wife really loves this shit, and it's actually really good. So it's canned. I'd prefer fresh, but just can't get fresh right now. So we're going to use the canned stuff, and it's very simple. All you got to do is just mix it up in a bowl, and then add some butter to it, and it's going to be really good. You can microwave it, or you can put it on the stove. I'd recommend just putting it in the microwave because, for one, if you put it on the stove, it could burn right away, and it's already pre-cooked, so all you're really doing is just heating it up. So keep in mind, whatever you do, whenever you use canned stuff, just microwave it. Don't even bother putting it in a pot because it's already pre-cooked. Anything in a can is always pre-cooked, so that's all you want to do. So that's going to be my side dish. Is going to be beans. It's really good stuff. It's really good for you. It's high on protein. It's high on all kinds of vitamins. It's really good for you, and it's got lots of flavors. So that's what we're going to be using. We got 11 minutes left. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out the steaks, and we're going to see how they're going. So you can see the steaks are looking really good. You smell it. We're going to Flavor Town, so you can see right away.